Then I let me in the door. Then I gave your boy a chance, now the youngin' finna blow. It's a shame finna put the game in the figure four. Youngin' fresh from out that bottom.
Yo, welcome back to my channel. Before we get into it, make sure you like, subscribe, comment, man. You ain't gotta like, you ain't gotta comment, but I do appreciate it if you did something if you're new. Now, in this video, I'm gonna be talking about Attack on Titan, but in particular, I'm going to be explaining how the movie for Attack on Titan Final Season was planned out. So, as we all know, according to the leaks for Attack on Titan Final Season Part 2, basically, Mappa will be animated from Chapter 117 up to Chapter 131. Now, if these leaks are true, that means that Attack on Titan Final Season will have a Part 3. Now, in one of my last videos, I explained that one of the reasons why they could be doing this, basically splitting Attack on Titan Final Season into 3 different parts, is because they're trying to add toward what Isayama is doing with the number 3. As I said before, the number 3 pops up many times throughout the story of Attack on Titan. A couple of examples is that we have 3 main characters. The story of Attack on Titan itself is split into 3 different timelines. The first being the See You Later timeline, the second being the manga timeline, and the third being the anime timeline. And in each different timeline, one of the 3 main characters is able to achieve their wish that comes with a price. In the first timeline, Mikasa's wish is to be with Eren, but Eren ends up dying because of the curse of Ymir. In the second timeline, Armin's wish is to be granted a different path to be able to end the cycle of hatred with peace and understanding. The price of that wish is that war continued and Paradise Island got destroyed. In the third timeline, which is the anime, Eren should be able to achieve his wish, but his wish should also come with a price as well. And I truly believe that the price that comes with Eren's wish is that a lot of his friends is not going to be able to live a long life like how he wants them to. If Isayama truly got inspired by the game called Marvel Love Alternative, then Eren in the anime should go through exactly what the character that Eren's character is based off of goes through, which is losing more of his friends in the alternative route than what he does in the ultimate route. And in our situation, the manga to Attack on Titan is the ultimate route, but the anime should be the alternative route to the manga. Another couple of examples where the number 3 pops up throughout the story of Attack on Titan is that Eren has 3 Titans. We only got to see 3 different Attack Titan holders. Paradise Island has 3 walls. Ymir has 3 daughters. Also, Ymir has 3 different parallels. The first being Historia, the second being the other Ymir, and the third being Mikasa. I also pointed out that in chapter 139, where Historia is holding her kid, you can see the number 3 pop up many times as well. Now, you can argue that the reason why the number 3 pops up many times is because of the fact that it's a family of 3. But if you look at the 3 candles, it's letting us know that Historia's kid is 3 years old, and it's also letting us know that it's been a 3-year time skip since Eren's death. So like I said, the number 3 pops up many times throughout the story of Attack on Titan, and Mappa splitting Attack on Titan Final Season into 3 different parts could very well be adding towards that pattern. Now the thing is that if this does happen, that means that we're going to have 8 chapters remaining, and according to the leaks, it is said to be that these 8 remaining chapters is going to be adapted into a movie. Now Isayama already kind of foreshadowed towards Attack on Titan having a movie by using his AU cast, which is canon, and Eren also have memories of this different version of himself living in this different timeline, where it's him and a bunch of his friends living in a high school setting, which is heavily inspired by the game of love. But like I said, Isayama uses his AU cast to foreshadow a movie by them watching the first timeline and the second timeline in the form of a movie, and then Eren says if it's another one, we should go watch that one together as well. This other movie that Eren is talking about is the 3rd timeline, and also Part 3 to the final season of Attack on Titan. Now, the reason why a movie makes so much sense is because if they really are planning on splitting Attack on Titan final season into 3 different parts, to me it doesn't make any sense to have a big seasonal anime like Attack on Titan come back for Part 3 with only 4 to 6 episodes. With only 4 to 6 episodes remaining, you could easily add that to Part 2. And that would be the only reason why we would think that a split won't happen. But if it does, logically speaking, it would just make more sense to just do a movie. But it doesn't matter if Part 3 to Attack on Titan Final Season is going to be adapted into a movie or if it's going to be based off episodes. But what does matter is that all of this shit was planned from the very beginning. Now, I do believe that Isayama made up and also changed a lot of shit along the way, and a lot of this couldn't have been done without Mappa picking up Attack on Titan. But overall, Isayama planned this shit from the very beginning, and it was right in front of our face. So if we go back to chapter 139, specifically to the part where a lot of people believe is Eren's out of character moment, and I explained this situation many times. Eren is out of character. Isayama confirms this by having Armin say to Eren that I didn't think that you would be capable of saying anything like that. Even though Eren is a very emotional character, Armin would have never expected Eren to express his feelings for Mikasa the way how he did it, meaning that he is out of character. But Eren is out of character for a reason. Now, I wouldn't really say that he is out of character. I would just say that Eren is showing a different side of him that we've never seen before, which is why to us, he's out of character. Now, the reason why Eren expresses his feelings for Mikasa the way how he does is because Eren has a split personality, which would explain why he always contradicts himself and it seems like he's lying. If Eren and Reiner is truly the opposite sides of the same coin, it would make sense that Eren would be going through the same thing that Reiner is going through, which is a split personality. And the funny thing is that I predicted that shit a very long time ago. But Eren has memories of two different versions of himself, maybe even more, living in these different timelines and experiencing different things. In the first timeline, Eren and Mikasa run off together to live out his last 4 years. He probably fell in love with this bitch, he probably was her boyfriend, and he probably clapped those cheeks. And manga Eren has memories of all of that happening. So when Armin explains to manga Eren that Mikasa should just move on and find somebody else and fall in love with somebody else, it upsets him and it causes him to show a different version of himself, a version that we're not used to seeing, and also Armin, which is why we think that he's out of character when he's really not. One thing that confirms this is that when everybody thought that Eren was changing, Mikasa thought to herself, which version of Eren was I seeing? She very well could have been seeing the see later version this whole entire time. Who the fuck knows? But regarding Eren's out of character moment, Isayama thinks he's slick. He used Eren's out of character moment to foreshadow or to make a big connection towards the anime. As you all know, and if you do not, I made a video of me explaining the real reason why Attack on Titan Final Season Part 2 is Eren in January of 2022. Now, in that video, I made a prediction that the first episode to Attack on Titan Final Season Part 2 would air on January the 9th. I also wanted to make another prediction that the trailer would come out in October, but I ended up forgetting to say it, and most likely I would have said October the 13th. But with the first episode to Attack on Titan Final Season Part 2 airing in January of 2022, and the very first episode to Attack on Titan airing in 2013, that makes 9 years. And we all know that the 9 represents the 9 Titans. Now, I also took that theory a step further by saying that Isayama could very well be trying to end the anime in the same month that the manga ended in, but also end the anime in the same month that it started in, which is in April, making everything come full circle, which is what he could very well still be trying to do. But let's take that theory a step further. Now, I seen one of you say what I'm about to say in the comment section of my last video, and the shit made a lot of fucking sense. If you look at Eren's out of character moment, he says that I want Mikasa to think of me and no one else for the rest of my life. But then he says something more specific. Even after I die, I want to be at the front of her mind for at least 10 years. Now, why 10 years? Why not 9? Why not 13? And why not motherfucking 3? And the reason is because Isayama plans on splitting Attack on Titan Final Season into 3 different parts. And whether or not Attack on Titan Final Season Part 3 is going to be a movie or based off episodes, most likely this Attack on Titan Final Season Part 3 is going to air in 2023. Therefore, Isayama would be able to make the 9-year connection, most likely the April connection, but most definitely the 10-year connection, which represents the 10 years that Mikasa has had Eren at the front of her mind. Now, why is this so fucking important? And it all falls back to what Kenny said about everyone being a slave to something. We tend to think about what that something is for each character in the story of Attack on Titan. For Armin, you can say that he's a slave to peace. For Eren, you can say that he's a slave to freedom. For Mikasa, she is a slave to Eren, but more specifically, Mikasa is a slave to her own selfish desire to want to be with Eren. And she will do anything from killing a motherfucker to literally sending Eren back in time. And she will continue to be a slave to that desire to want to be with Eren until she dies. In order for Mikasa to be free, the bitch has to die. We always say that Mikasa is the slave to Eren, but in reality, Eren is a slave to Mikasa. She got this motherfucker trapped by sending him back in time over and over and over again. Do anybody not think that's fucked up? I think that's really fucked up. It really is. Her love is what keeps Eren caged up, and that's fucking crazy to think about. And knowing that Attack on Titan Final Season Part 3 could be the end of Attack on Titan, and knowing that Isayama is trying to make this connection with Mikasa having Eren at the front of her mind for 10 years. And after these 10 years, Mikasa will not have Eren at the front of her mind, because in this anime original ending, Mikasa is going to die, which is going to cause the time loop to stop, which means that the anime is going to be the last loop, which makes a lot of sense because in 2023, the anime for Attack on Titan is going to come to a fucking end. If you look at the outro to Attack on Titan Season 2, which has anime original ending written all over it, you can see Eren and Historia kissing, and you can also see Eren giving Historia his coat. But it's one more thing that gets foreshadowed, and that is Mikasa's death. If you look at Ymir and the devil making a deal, on the side that Ymir is on, which is the right side, you see a scarf that is perfectly wrapped. But on the side that the devil is on, which is the left side, you see a scarf that's not wrapped at all, and it has blood on it. With everything that we know, and everything that I said in this video, the way how those two scarves are being shown like that says a lot. I don't know, the bitch just might die in the anime. Now, what I'm about to say next is going to confirm that Attack on Titan has a time loop. It's also going to confirm that the anime is a different timeline, but more importantly, the anime is the continuation of the manga timeline, like how I've been saying. If you look at the game of love, Sumika, which is the character that Mikasa's character is heavily based off of, Sumika sends the main character, which is Takeru, back in time, and he wakes up in a different timeline 3 years after the events of the previous one. And what did I say earlier in the video? The number 3 pops up many times throughout the story of Attack on Titan. In Japanese, the number 3 represents creation and time, past, present, and future. Me just saying that should be self-explanatory to why the number 3 holds so much weight to the story of Attack on Titan. But if you apply that to Attack on Titan, the first timeline is the events that happened in the past. The manga timeline is the events that happen in the present. The anime timeline is the events that happens in the future. But like I said earlier in the video, if you go back to chapter 139, where we see Historia holding her kid, if you look at the 3 candles, it's letting us know that her kid is 3 years old, but it's also letting us know that it was a 3-year time skip. So just like Sumika, Mikasa sent Eren back in time, and Eren woke up in the anime timeline 3 years after the events of the manga timeline, meaning time loop is confirmed. The anime being a different timeline, confirmed. The anime being a continuation of the manga timeline, confirmed. The way how Eren wakes up under the tree in the anime is for a fucking reason. This is no longer a theory. Attack on Titan getting an anime original ending is inevitable. This shit has to happen, and if it don't, that means that Isayama retconned this fucking story. And I do not think that he did that, because if he did, he wouldn't be making all these connections. Isayama, you motherfucking genius. This bitch planned everything. He planned everything from the very beginning. And like I said, I feel like a lot of shit was made up along the way. And a lot of this shit could not be done without Mappa picking up Attack on Titan. But overall, Isayama planned all this shit the fuck out. But this is the end of the video. You ain't got like, you ain't got to comment, but I do appreciate it if you hit the sub button if you're new. And I am out, bro.